Hello, welcome to TechSharmat. In this series, we will create one IBMi project, or you can say CRUD application, where the topic will would be the student management system, and we will discuss each and every step which is required to create one CRUD application. Okay, so these will be the functionality that we are going to discuss in the entire application. First, we will create one login screen where user will provide their credential, and with those credential, user will be able to log in into the system. Now, the second functionality would be the add student. So we will provide one option where user can add new student to the existing system. Okay. Now, and after that we will create another functionality which is for update the student record. So suppose we have some record already stored in the application and user want to update those data. So in that case, we will provide one functionality which will help them to update the record. Likewise, if user want to delete some record from the system, then we will also provide one portal, or you can say one functionality with the help of that user will be easily able to delete their record. Okay, so this will be in a part wise. We will create this session in part wise where we will discuss each and everything that is required, and basically we are going in that way. Firstly, we will discuss about the screen designing portion, then we will write the logic for it, and whatever the basic validation are needed for the application, we will do that also. Okay. Okay, so now I will give you the demo of the login screen that we have already prepared, and then step by step we will move further with the description of the logic that we have created, and also we will see how we will design the screens. Okay, so first of all I am giving you the demo. So for that I am calling this program, which is our main program. So once you call this program, it will take you to this screen where you can see that there are some header information we have stored, the name, the title, the project title, and the username, program name, date, time. Okay, so this is how our login screen will look like. Here there is one verbiage username and associated with one field. Okay, likewise we have password verbiage associated with their field, but it is hidden. You can see that it is not present there, right? So why we have make it non-display, because whenever user puts some password here, we don't want to show that to other user or on a screen. That's why we have make it as a hidden field. And now we have another thing we have is the footer portion where we have give one information regarding the F3 key, which is for exit, F6 for forgot password. Okay, fine. So in this demo, what I will show you, we will just focus only on this login part, and then step by step we will move forward. So what this screen will do, let's say if I hit enter on blank field. So I hit enter, so then it will give the message login field. Okay, because we haven't put any ID and password. So now what I will do, I will put the correct ID and password. So let's say I put my username and the password. Okay, now after inserting ID and password, I will hit enter. So once I hit enter, it will take me to the application main screen, which is the you can say this is a CRUD screen, or you can say that it is a subfile screen. Okay, where we will perform all the operations like edit, delete, display, and all other options. Okay, so if our password is correct and user ID and password is correct, then it will take us to the main screen. Otherwise, it will give error again and again that login is failed, login is failed. If I put any other username and hit enter, then again it will show login failed. So this is how our screen will look like for the login. Okay, and other option we have is F3. Whenever user press F3 here, it will take them out of the application, and if user press F6, so it will show the window where we can put the username, security key, new password, new confirm password for changing the password. So let's say if user forgot the password, then from this screen he will be able to change the password or reset the password. But this screen we will discuss at the end of this application, because we will take this learning process from here, from the login screen to other options, and then one by one we will cover each and everything. Okay, so what we discuss in this part, we just discuss how the screen will look like, and in next part what we will discuss how to design this screen, because right now we haven't discussed about the designing. So in after this portion we will start discussing what how to design this screen. Then after that we will discuss how to write this logic. Okay, so this will be our flow. Firstly we will discuss the screen designing, then the logic, and then the further things. So okay. Okay, so now we will discuss the screen designing for the login screen. So what you need to do for this, we will create one member. I will tell you how to create member, and then we will use the one which I have already prepared to for the explanation purpose. Okay, so for creating the new member you can do F6. So once you press F6 on the screen, here in work member PDM screen, then it will take you to this portion where you can pass your file name, or you can say source member name. So let's say I create it as display1. Okay, so you can consider this as my display file, and here you need to pass the member type or source type. So here I will pass DSPF, which is for display file, and then simply hit enter. Once you hit enter, it will be came as blank, so just make it save and exit. So I'm doing file. There is no need to write anything here. Fine. Then you refresh your screen, so you can see that now it is added here. Okay, so once it is added, now we are good to hit the 17 option, and then inside that we can add the records and we can design the screens. Okay, that thing, these things we will discuss in the one which I have already created. So for now I am deleting this, so it is deleted now. So in same manner I have created this display file where I keep the name as stumng sysd. STU is for student, MNG is for management, SY is for system, and D is for the display file. So in same manner I do the F6 and create this file, and also keep this description as text. Now once this member is created, now you can take option 17. So once you take option 17, you will see for the very first time you will see the blank. These are the record that I have already added, but for now you can consider only this record because we are going to discuss this one, and other we will discuss in the upcoming session. So on blank screen, what you need to do, you can just put one here in option field, and then give some name with you want to screen the record, screen the design. Okay, like if you want to design the screen with a test name. Okay, so just write one and test. Now here you can see that I have given test, and from these options you can select the type. So for the first screen we are going to use this record, so just write record and then hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will came at this as of this blank screen. Then there we have to design the part of the screen. So I'm deleting this and show you the existing one. Okay, actually it is not added because I didn't hit enter, so fine. Now I will show you the one which I have already prepared for the login screen. So this is the one. So once this record is added, you can press 12 option here, then you will be see one blank screen. Right now this is the data I have already designed. I will tell you how I have designed this, but you will see the very first screen as a blank. Now what we will do, we will design this header portion first. So to design this header portion, what you need to do, suppose you want to keep some text on the header. So what you will do, you will just put single quote and your text, whatever you want to print, text for print. Okay, and then you can close your single quote and then just hit enter. So this is the text. If you want to change the color of this text, just press asterisk and then go here and select option Y for colors, and then you can select whatever the color you want to select. Just take one on it and then hit enter, so it will change the color. Okay, so likewise I have keep my this text here, so I will show you tst single quote close. Now to change the color, put your cursor on the placeholder location which is just one step before the text actual text. Here I will press asterisk then I will go for the colors and press Y, and from here I can select any color. Let's say I want to select red, then I will go and take one and hit enter, so it is selected. Okay, so this is how we will select the colors and we will keep the text. So I'm deleting this because we have already designed for the header. For deleting, you can put your cursor like placeholder position, put D and then hit enter, so it will delete. One thing you need to take care of very importantly, which is do not press backspace button on this screen. Do not. Okay, otherwise it will like it will create a cause of screen changing. It will remove all the text which you have written, so it will totally destroy your screen. So do not take backspace on this screen. Fine. So now we have created this text. Similarly, I keep student management system also in single quote and just hit enter because I don't want to change their color. Okay, so this portion is done, middle one. Now we will see this one. So here you can see date and colon. This is also a kind of text. So what I do, I just write date inside a quote, then put my colon and then close it and hit enter. Now I will show you the shortcut trick to change the color. So to change it very quickly, you can put your cursor on the placeholder location, then put C, and for changing the color to white, I will write the W overlapping with my first character name. So I'm overlapping it with W and hit enter. So it will change the color directly. But if you want to change it from options, just put asterisk here, go for the colors and remove the one. If you want to change it to yellow, just go and select one here on yellow. So it will be selected. Likewise, I do it for the time and user and program verbiages. So these are the verbiages. Okay. So this is just a text. Now what is this? This is a value that we got by using the functions. So for that you just need to write star and just write date. So once you write start date, it will and hit enter, it will give you this date. Okay. Similarly, if I want time, I will write star time, hit enter. So it will give me time. Okay. And if we talk about the left hand side portion, then user also came from the function. So just write asterisk user, hit enter, so it will give you the username. So these are the three fields where we don't want to write data from program because it is directly taking from the system functions, which is date, time and user. This is the other thing that we will populate from the program because this is not a function. We are not declaring it as a function. Okay, so we designed this. Another thing, how to shift the things that you have designed here. Let's say I keep my test here. Okay, now I want to shift it to the right hand side. So just place your cursor at the end, one place after the end of your text, and put the angular bracket. So as number of angular bracket you put here, it will shift that much places, and just hit enter. If you want to go left hand side, just write here in angular brackets and hit enter, so it will go. Okay, if you want to shift it to above line, so just put your cursor here, press hyphen, another hyphen at the end, and wherever you want to move it, just write equal and then hit enter, so it will shift it to the above line. Likewise, if you want to go down, just write hyphen hyphen and then equal wherever you want to move it. Let's say if I want to move it below to the screen, so I will go and write equal here, then hit enter, so it will be shifted. Okay, so by using these shortcut, you can arrange your text. Let's say I want to keep it in the middle, so I can do it, and then for left and right hand shift, I will use the angular bracket. Okay, so this thing we have already discussed. Middle one we have already covered. Now we will see the program field, because this is not coming from the function. So how it is coming? It is coming by creating the output field. So how to create output field? So now we will discuss about how to create fields. So for creating fields, there are three options. One is input field, second is output field, and third is both field. If we talk about this string portion, then for creating input field, just write plus I is for input, and inside the parenthesis pass the length, how many length you need. Let's say 5, then close parenthesis and hit enter. So it will create a input field. So I is indicating input field. Similarly, if you want to create output field, plus O, size, hit enter. This is output field. Here user will be able to insert the value. Here user will only able to see the value. And if I write B, B is for both. Here user will be able to see as well as to show the value. So this is both field. So this is how we will declare the input field in case of string. If you want to declare some numeric field, then how we will do? For that we will write plus 3 is for input. Inside that you can pass size. If you want to create output, then write 6. Inside that you can pass size. So this is output. And if you want to go for both, plus 9, and inside that you can pass size. So this is the both field. So in case of string, you can use I for input, O for output, and B for both. In case of numeric field, you can write 3 is for input, 6 is for output, and 9 is for both. Okay, so I'm deleting it. And one more thing, like once the field is defined, we have to give some name to this field, because those names we will be able to use in our program. So for giving the name, what you can do, you can place your cursor here and then press question mark, hit enter, and here whatever the name you will give, it will be referred as a field name. So let's say I give it as a test name. So whenever I want to refer this field in my program, let's say for populating the data, I will refer it by this name, the one which I have given here, test name. Okay, so whenever we are creating any field, we have to give some name, otherwise we will not be able to access it. So I'm deleting it. For deleting, you can place your cursor here and just write D and hit enter. So it will delete it. Okay, so we are done with the header portion. Now we will see what we have done here. So this is a normal text as I shown you for the above thing. So I just create the text and change it color. This is the input field that we just saw how to create. So for creating input field, plus I is for input, whatever the length, let's say I want to create 10 length input field, I will write 10 and hit enter. So it will become as like this, and then I will assign some name to it and I will use it. So I'm deleting it, and I will show you the name that I have given to this field, which is S1 username. Why I keep S1? S1 is just generally for indicating that this field is something for screen, related to screen. Okay, so whatever the field we will create, we will give the name as prefix as S. So if we see here, here also we give some name which is as S1 PROG name, program name. Okay, now where is this second field? It is not displaying. So to see this field, you can place your cursor here on placeholder location and then press asterisk. So once you press asterisk, it will show you, because right now it is in a non-display mode, and then hit enter. So how to make it non-display? To make it non-display, like firstly you can create normal numeric field, then press asterisk here in this location, go for display attributes by ticking Y, and here you can select the option ND, which is non-display. So once you select ND, it will be hidden. Let me show you it again. Let's say I created numeric input field of size 5. Okay, now I want to hide this. I want to make it as a non-display, so I will put my cursor here, press asterisk, hit enter, display attribute, and I will go for the non-display. These are the other options that you can refer, but in the upcoming part we will discuss each and everything. Okay, so just go with the flow. So it is non-displayed. To delete it, I will put D and hit enter. So here we have declared one field which is non-display mode. So if I put question mark here, you can see the name is given to this field is S1 password. So this field we will refer by S1 username, and this field we will refer in the program by S1 password. Done. Now the second thing you can see, there is one output field. Output field was for message. Let's say we saw in the demo that whenever we are providing wrong credential, it gives the login field. Okay, so how it is working? You just need to declare one output field, then change its color to red. Let's say I want to create output field. I will write O, the size of the field. Do not press F backspace. Make sure that you are not pressing it, otherwise it will disturb all your screen. So just hit enter. Now to change its color, either you can go with asterisk option, select it from here, or if you want to go for shortcut, just write here C is for change, and overlap the first character with the color initial, which is R is for red, so it will be red. And again we have to assign this any name to this field, so I'm assigning it as a S1 error message. So we are done with this. Okay, now below to this you can see there are some function keys we have specified. So how to do this? Just write single quote whatever the function key you want to give. Let's say F10. F10 is for test purpose, then hit enter. So it is declared. Now to change the color I will write C and B. B is for blue, so it will be changed. Okay, so likewise I designed this F3 and F6. For movement you can use angular bracket, so it will be easy to move the field. So we are done with this screen. So basically in header portion we keep these things as a text. These three values will be populated by the system values, the one which we are using, like star date, star time, and star user. This value we will populate with the help of rpgle program, where we will use this screen. And these are the input field. Every field should be named, because without giving any name we will not be able to fetch it or access it. Okay, then we declared one output field for giving the message, and then the footer information, so that user will understand, okay, I have to press F3 for going exit. Once your designing is done, just simply press F12. After designing we have to set some indicators. So for setting indicator, just take option 8 here, hit enter, go for the indicator keywords, and here you can pass the indicators. So as we mentioned there, like we are going to use only CF03 and CF06, where CF03 is for exit and CF06 is for forgot password. So I just keep it here. You can also declare it as a CA03, but throughout this application we will keep only CF, which is command function indicator. Okay, so how we will define this indicator? Just write CF03, response is as 303, and text you can keep anything which you want to indicate. Like I created this function key for exit, so I keep it as exit. Similarly for CF06, for function key F6, I am keeping CF06. If you want to go for CF function key F12, so just write CF12. Okay, in response we will keep 12, and here you can write whatever you want to give in text description. But right now we are just needing only these two, so I'm hitting enter. So we are done with this screen designing. Once the screen is designed, you can simply hit enter and save the things. Just compile your display file and use it in your rpgle program. That we will discuss in next part, like how to create the rpgle program and how to declare this file inside that, and how to use this screen, how to populate the data on the screen. Okay, so right now we just see how we can design the login screen. So once the screen is ready, it will be look like this. Okay, so now in next portion we will see how to write a logic to access this screen. Okay, so before we start with the logic of the login screen, let me show you the physical file that we are going to use, and in which we have some data that we will use for validating the user, whether the user is valid or invalid. Okay, so first of all I will show you the physical file structure. So how to create physical files? So if you are not aware how to create physical file, you just need to press F6, and then you can give your name here. Let's say we are creating test PF, and inside that you can pass the source type as a PF, which is physical file. And here you can, if you want to give description, you can give your description here, test PF. Okay, so this is an optional field, but these two things we need to pass. First one is the source member name and the type of the source. So once you hit enter on this, you will be reached to this blank screen where you can design your physical file. Now how to design that I will show you. So for save and exit, you can do file and hit enter. So you can see test PF is there, but we are not going to use this one, so I'm deleting it. Fine. So login PF, this is the PF that we are going to use for our case study or project. So let me show you the structure. So it is a quite simple physical file. There we are taking only two fields. So first step for designing the physical file is you have to assign the record format name to the physical file, which we will refer while writing or updating the physical file. So how to define that? Just go and press F4 and here in name type you can pass R, which indicate record format, and then you can give your physical file record format name. So what how I am defining my record format, just a physical file name and the suffix is R, so it will indicate that it is my record format name. So my physical file name is login pf, and I just add R in the end so that it will indicate that this is my record format name. So now whenever we need to write or whenever you want to perform some operation on the physical file, we will use this record format name there. Okay. So after record format is done, like you have declared the record format, then you are good to define your fields that you are going to store in this physical file. So for that you just need to press F4 again on the second line, and then you can pass your field name. So my first field name will be username. Inside length you have to pass the length, how much length you need for that particular variable or field, and make sure that whenever you are assigning any numeric value it should be right aligned. So I'm assigning it here. If it is there, then it will not work, so it should be on right hand side. Data type I'm selecting as A, which is for alphanumeric. If you want to check other data type, you can press F1, then it will show you the list of other data types as well. But right now we are looking for alphanumeric field because it is username, so username could be anything, so I'm accepting it as a alphanumeric. Now in functions I'm using column heading, which is colhdg. This is just for the description of the field, so whenever we hit the query it will come as a column name as username. Okay, so this is how I'm defining first field. Now the second field, just go to the second line and press F4. Then here you need to pass the second field name, which is password. Length is same, but data type is S. S is for numeric values. So if I do press F1 here, so here you can see type S is indicate S to indicate zone decimal data. So this will be my zone decimal data, and all the numeric value contains some decimal position, so I'm assigning it from the right hand side as 0 because I don't want to take any decimal point, so I'm making it as a 0. And likewise I'm defining the column heading here also, so it is password. So these two fields are defined. Now we can create one key field. So for designing a key field you can press F4, and then here in name type you can pass K. K is for key field, and whatever the field you want to use as a key for your application you can pass it here. So key is basically a field which we will use, which is we can use to identify the file. You can say it is a unique field. We can make it as a unique. So this is my key field, and on the basis of that key we will fetch the record from the physical file. So this is quite simple physical file. Once your physical file is ready, just try to just compile it. But right now I am not compiling it because I have already stored some data in it. So make sure that if you are compiling your physical file, then you will lose your data. We have other option, like we can use a chgpf command, but right now I am not taking any compilation. So I just show you the design that I am going to use. So this is my structure of physical file. Now I will show you the data, actual data what we have here. So I'm hitting the query, select start from, and my library name is Sharmit1, and inside that we have the physical file as login pf. So only two data I have stored here, which is username as Sharmit, password as 128, and second user is username user1234, and password is same. So these two data we will use for performing the login operation. Okay, sometime it happens like if there are multiple type of user in our application, then in that case we can maintain a one flag value also. So by that flag value we will identify it. Okay, so this is the admin. A is for admin, E is for employee, likewise. Okay, but right now we are going to make it very simple, so I'm just taking only two record here with username and password, and that these detail we will use for validating the user. Okay, so this is the structure of the physical file that we are going to use for the login screen. Okay, so far we have discussed how to design the login screen, and also we see the structure of physical file that we are going to utilize in our application. Okay, now before directly moving to the application logic, I will show you the display file related screens, like what all screen we have designed for the system. We will discuss that, and then after discussing all the screens, we will go to the program logic. So for that reason, I'm taking this display file in options. I'm taking option 17 on this display file. Here you can see there are lots of record we have added. These are the screens that we are using in our application, and in this portion we are going to discuss about this add data screen. Login page we have already discussed. So now for add data screen, you can directly take option 1 here, and you can give any name to this record. So we have given it as add data. So once it is added, then you can directly take option 12 here, and once you take option 12, you will get the blank screen where you can design your screen. Okay, so now I will show you what all things we have implemented here for the header portion. So here in the header part, you can see there are three text. So how to write this text? So for writing this text or verbiage, what you can do, you can write single quote, then whatever the thing you want to write, and then close that this quote. So this is how we have defined these normal text. And if you would like to give any color to it, what you will do, you will place your cursor here and then press asterisk and hit enter. Then you can take option Y on colors and select any color which you want to give. Let's say we want to give red color, so I will take 1 on my red color and then hit enter. So we have given the color to this text. Now another thing I want to show you, like if you want to move this from slightly towards the right hand side, so you can press right angular bracket here and then hit enter, so it will be moved. Similarly, if you want to go left hand side, so you can do left angular bracket like this and hit enter, so it will be moved to left. If you want to change its position, so just put hyphen, and wherever you want to move it, just press equals to and enter. So this is how you can adjust your text. But make sure one thing, that do not press backspace on this screen, otherwise your entire source will get changed. So do not ever use backspace on this at the time of screen designing. Now I am deleting it because we are not going to use this one. So in same manner, I have declared these three things and set the colors by using asterisk, and there in colors field I am selecting the color. So we are done with this. Now I will show you this. This is also a kind of verbiage, you can say, like just put single quote and then whatever the text you want to print and close it. Likewise, I have given these user, program, date and time. Now how we are getting these values, date and time? So for getting this value, you can write directly asterisk date and hit enter. So this is generated directly by the system value. Okay, similarly you can go for time, start time, and similarly you can go for user, so just write user. So these three values are coming directly from the system: date, time and user. Now what is this? This is output field. So let me tell you how we can define fields in screen. So for string purpose, like if you want to create some fields for the string or text, what you can do, you can use plus, then I is for input, and inside parenthesis you can give the size of your field and then hit enter. So this is input field. If you want to create output field, so just write plus, O is for output, inside that you can pass your size. So this is the output field. If you want to create both mode field, so you can write plus B, and inside that you can pass the length of the field and just simply hit enter. So this is the both field. So for string we have three options: I is for input, O is for output and B is for both. In the same manner, if you want to declare some numeric fields, so what you can do, you can use plus, 3 is for input, same manner you can pass the size, 3 is for input, 6 is for output, plus 6, inside that you can put value, this is for output, and 9 is for both. So just remember these things: I input, O output, B both for string. And if we talk about the numeric, then 3 is for input, 6 is for output and 9 is for both. So now you have the idea of how we will define the fields. In the same manner I have declared it. So I just keep O as 10. So this is output field. This will only show the data. Once your screen is added, means the field is added, you can place your cursor here on the placeholder location and just press question mark and give some name to it. So whenever we are going to utilize this field in our rpgle program, we will refer it with this name. So make sure that you are assigning name to your fields. So we have assigned it here as s1 pgm name. So we are done with this header portion. Now I will show you these things. So these are also at normal text. Inside quote I just simply write the text and change the color to white. Okay, you can adjust your text or verbiage by using angular bracket, and you can move it from one place to another. I just show you that process, right? Now these are the fields. So here you can see it is written as 6, which means this is for output purpose only, and this is numeric field. So like we just want to show the student ID as auto incremented value, so we are creating it as a output field. In the same manner, like for a student name, you can say that we have declared the field but in both mode. This is not output, this is both mode. Here we will accept the value as well as we will show the value as well. Okay, so you can see this is my student name field, and every field is assigned with some name. So just put a question mark and you can see that name is assigned. Here also you can see r1 stu name, and we have declared everything. This is 9. 9 means numeric both mode. So we have given the name r1p. R1 I am using as a prefix so that we can easily identify that this is related to the registration form field. Okay, so same manner we have declared all the field. Now at the bottom you can see there is another field named as s1 msg. This is we are going to use for message population. So what I do, I just simply write plus, then O is for output, and inside parenthesis I just keep the size, let's say 5, and just hit enter. Now to change the color, either you can go take option asterisk, then select the color by taking option Y and select the color, or other shortcut trick is like just place your cursor here and write C, and by overlapping the first character you can write the first letter of the color, let's say R, and hit enter. So it is changed to red. Okay, so this is a shortcut way. So likewise if you want to change it to blue, you can write CB. One is at the placeholder position and another one is at by overlapping the first character. So we got the idea how to design the screen. So just press F12. Once your designing is complete, press F12. Now we will assign some indicator to it. How to assign? Just take option 8, hit enter, go to indicators, and here you can see we have assigned 3 things: CF03, CF05 and CF012. 3 is for exit, 5 is for refresh, and 12 is for cancel. So we are done with our screen designing. So I'm now hitting enter and I will compile it. So this is how we will add the add screen. So I will show you the output, like how it is looking. So logic we will see at the end. Like firstly we will cover all the things which is related to the screens, and then we will discuss the logic. So I'm taking option. So here you can see option F6 for add. So I'm pressing add. So this is how our screen is looking. It is filled with auto incremented value. This thing we will see in logic how we are getting this, and here we can accept the values, right? One more thing you can see that whenever I'm not following any validation for the field, it is giving me message that highlighted field cannot be blank. Now you can see that it is highlighted. How it is highlighting? Let's see. We will go back to the option 17. Again go to this 12. You can see that few fields are highlighted, automatically highlighted. So what attribute we have set here? So just place your cursor at the placeholder location, press asterisk, go for the display attributes, and you can see that we have set few things, which is reverse image and position cursor. And also we have assigned some indicator to it. Why? So whenever I will turn on indicator 70, it will highlight that particular field, as well as it will take the cursor position to that field. So this is we are passing so that we can validate if there is any error in particular field, we will turn on that indicator. So you can see for other values display attribute, here I am assigning the 71 indicator because whenever I'm turning on 71 indicator, it will reverse image it as well as means highlight it, as well as it will take the position cursor to that particular field. So that's why whenever we are giving the wrong input to the field, it, or we will keep like if we are not inserting any value to the field, then it is giving that error. Let me show you it again, pressing F6. So if I hit enter on blank screen, so this validation we have set like highlighted field cannot be blank. If my cursor is at this location, if I hit enter, so it will take my cursor to that particular position. Why? Because we have already set the position cursor as 70 indicator. So once 70 indicator is on, it will highlight the field as well as take my cursor to that position. Okay, and this thing you can add directly by keeping the quote, and inside quote you can write whatever the text. This is just a text as we declared here, right? So this is how we will design the screen, and you can see that all the values are populated automatically. These three value, date, time, and username is directly populated by the system, and other things we are populating using the rpgle program logic. So these are the information, like we have set the indicator CF0, 3, 5 and 12. So for that reason we are showing it to user, like press F3 for exit, 5 for refresh, 12 for cancel, and enter for submit. Okay, so this is how we will design the screen. In logic portion we will cover everything related to the data population, data validation, how these options are working, F3, F5, F6. Okay. Okay, so now we will see the another screen which is for update. So I'm taking option 17 again on my display file. So second record you can see the update, and these are the record that we will discuss separately because this is related to the sub file. So these three like TSP, SFL, DSP, CTL and footer, this is related to sub file that we will discuss at the end. And in this portion we will discuss about this UPD data. So just simply go and take option 1 here in OPT field, just give some name, and type would be the record only. So once your black screen is added, then take option 12 here. So once you take option 12, you can see that this is how the update or edit screen will be look like. So you can see here in header portion we are using the same kind of header as we are using in our add screen. So for these three are the normal text that we have declared or designed with the help of single quote. So just write single quote. So this is how you can design this normal verbiage, and these are the system value that we are getting by using star date, star time and star user. And this is the output field where we have give some name which is S1 prog name. This is normal text, or you can say verbiage. So you can like write like this test, and if you want to change color, just press asterisk and go for the colors. In colors you can pass you can select whatever the color you want to select, let's say white. So it is added in the same manner. I just defined all these text: student ID, student name, gender, email, mobile, stream, pin code, country and city and country. Okay, and now you can see that here on student ID we are making it as a 6 is for output, so we are making it as a output field. And these are all the both mode field. So every field is assigned with some name. You can see S1 STU name, S1 STU gender. So S1 will indicate that this is coming from the screen. This field is output field, you can see, and the name we have given to it is S1 MSG. So whatever the message we want to print, we will populate here. Now this is the normal text as we have designed like this. Just write single quote, whatever the function you want to give, keep it like this, close it. And for changing the color, either you can go that option like that way by taking asterisk, otherwise you can write C, overlap first character with whatever the color you want to change. So I want to change to blue, so I will write CB. So this is how we have designed it. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you, because these field decoration we have already seen when we are discussing about the add screen. Okay, so after that we are assigning some indicator to it. So for that I'm taking option 8 and going to the indicator portion. You can see that we have assigned two indicators, CF03 for exit and CF012 for up, cancel. Okay, we are not assigning any you can see like we are not setting any kind of attributes here, reverse image or anything. So once your screen designing is ready, just simply compile it and see the output. So I'm compiling it, compiling the program also, calling it, and I'm taking option my user ID and password here. Now that edit screen will come when user take option 2 on OPT field. So I'm taking option 2. So it will look like this. How we are getting this data? In rpgle program we have write some logic uh, which uh, uh, which logic is mainly populating this data to this edit screen. So we just discuss the screen designing. Okay, and this thing we will cover when we are discussing in the logic, actual logic of the program. So this screen is mainly designed for the edit purpose. Let's say if user want to edit their name, so what it will he can do, he can just keep some text here. Let's say I want to change it to user, new user, let's say. So we will write directly new user and hit enter. So it will give the message record updated. And if I take F12 here, so my record is updated. So this is the purpose of edit screen. So we have already discussed the add screen, which is mainly used for adding the record to the system. Okay, and this edit one is for doing the modification, or you can say for updating the record. Now we will jump to the another screen. Okay, so we are done with the screen designing for the update screen. Now we will pick the other screen and we'll see how we are designing that. Okay, so in order to explain the same, I'm taking option 17 on my display file. So we are done with this login page, screen designing, add data, screen designing. These three are related to subfile that we will discuss at the end. And also we have covered this update data screen. Now in this portion we will discuss about DSP data, which is mainly for the displaying the data to the user. So let's see how we will design that. So simply you just need to add this with some record name, and the type is record, right? So once your screen is added, just take option 12 there. And this is how our display student record screen look like. So if we talk about the header portion, it is same as we did for the login page and for the update screen. These three are the normal text with different color, and this is the normal verbiage like date, time, user, program, and these values are coming from the system functions. If you need date, so just simply write start date. Similarly, if you want time, to then you can write start time, and for user you can write star user. So these function will automatically populate the data from the system, which is date, time, and user. This is the output field. So field like we have already discussed, like I is for input, O is for output, B is for both, 3 is for input, 6 is for output, and 9 is both for numeric values. So we just declared this field, and the name we have assigned to it is S1 PGM name. Now we will talk about this portion. So here you can see this is just a normal you can say verbiage or text, right? Here you can see that every field is in output mode. This is the only difference between the update screen and this screen. In update screen, we are allowing user to insert the data. That's why we make those field as a both mode, because we want to accept the data as well as we want to show some data. Fine. But in display screen, we are not going to we are not going to give the authority to user to change the data. We will just display it. So in that case, we are declaring all the fields in output mode. So student out ID is a numeric field, so I'm creating it as a 6, and other fields are character related string or alphanumeric string, so we are making it as a output field. So with the O, so these are the name that we have assigned to fields: S1 STU name, then S1 STU gender. Likewise, we have assigned every field some name. Now this is the bottom, or you can say the footer part, where we just give two indicator description, which is F3 for exit and F12 for cancel. So whenever you user press these two function key, it will take them, it will process the same function. Like F12 is for previous screen, means cancel, and F3 is for exit the program. Okay, so this is how this screen looks like. Now we will see what all indicators we have set here. So I'm taking option 8 for selecting the keywords, and now select the indicator by taking option Y. Here you can see that we are using the first indicator as CF03, which is for exit, CF12 for cancel. Okay, so one more thing, if yours, you can see here, like in general, I'm taking option Y on the overlay. So this overlay is needed when we are populating one screen on another. So as its name indicate, that overlay is for overlay purpose. Okay, so now we will try to compile it, because this is the only designing related to the add display screen. Okay, so I'm compiling it, and now I will show you the screen, the actual screen that is coming. Program is also compiled. Make sure that whenever you are compiling your display file, at the same time you have to also compile your program. So it is taking some time. Once it is ready, we will call this and we'll see the output. So I'm calling it. I'm taking my user, I'm inserting my user ID and password here. Let me check it again. Yeah, so now we got this. So we are done with this screen designing, like F6. We just in previous portion we saw how we design this. Similarly, we also saw this edit. So in edit screen, we discussed that these fields are both mode. Here user can input the values as well as we are populating the data also. Okay, and just we discuss about this option 5 for display. So whenever user want to see data of any particular record, so what he will do, he will put option 5 on the OPT field and then simply hit enter. Then it will look like this. So this is the header. These three values are automatically coming from system. This value we will populate inside the rpgle program. This is the normal text, and every field is in output mode. So those fields which are blank, it is coming as blank, right? It is not showing anything here. And these are the footer details. So this is how we design the display student record screen. Okay, so now we will see another screen designing. So I'm taking option 17 on my display file. So we are done with these update design. Now update as well as the delete screen. Now we will discuss this DLT CNF RCD. So what is this? This screen is designed specifically for the purpose of confirming whether the user wants to delete that selected record or not. Okay, so I'm taking option 12. You can directly add it as we did for the login page. So just take option 1, put some record name and select the type as record, and then this will be created for you. And after that you can take option 12 on it. So you will see the blank screen, and then we will design these all things there. So how to design that? let's discuss about firstly about the header portion. So in header portion you can see that we keep these almost in every screen. We are keeping the same header, right? Header information are always same. So this is the normal text with some different color, date time. Here we are using star date, star time, star user. This is the output field. We have allocated some name to it, s1 proc name. Okay, now we will see this portion because it looks like slightly different from the other screen. So what exactly we are doing here? So this is just normal text with hyphens. So how you will define it? Just put quote and just type your hyphens like this and just close it. Okay, so this is just for the design purpose. I'm keeping in this way, and if you want to move it, you can use your angular bracket. This will take this to right hand side, and similarly this will take to the left hand side. If you want to move it somewhere, then you can use hyphens and equals to, that we already discussed, right? So I'm deleting it. So this line is just a normal string or verbiage you can consider with all hyphens. Now what is this? This is also a normal text. What I did, I just simply write in this way: do you want to delete, something like this. But make sure I am again informing you that do not press backspace on this screen, otherwise it will change your source. So in this way we are keeping this text. So from here to here, this is the normal string. Now what is this? This is the output field. So we know that for output of string, what we will do, we will write plus o. Inside that we can pass the size, and for changing the color, either we can go with asterisk and color, select the color, just go with asterisk, select color by y, put the color here, whatever you want to do, you want for that field, and then hit enter. And another shortcut way is just write C on the placeholder position and overlap the first character with color initial, which is W, and hit enter. So it will come like this. Okay, so this is the output field I have attached here, and the name we have given to it is s1dlt user ID. Then again, this is a normal text question mark. This is also a text inside a quote, and this field is a input field, because here we want to ask user whether he wants to go with y or n. So for that reason, I just go and write in this way, like plus I and 1, because I just need one character field, and then hit enter. So it will come like this. Okay, and after that we are assigning some name to it, which is s1dltcnf. Now this is also a normal text. Please enter to continue. This is head footer portion. I just keep footer related means the indicator related information inside the block itself, so that it will look like good. Okay, and this is also a normal text with the hyphens. So this screen designing is quite simple. We are just keeping everything on the screen, and we are asking user whether he wants to delete it or not. So I'm taking F12. Let's see what all indicator we are using here. Option 8, then Y. Here you can see we are using two indicators, CF03. Mostly these two indicators will be in every screen. Okay, so this is the indicator CF03 and CF12. So I'm hitting enter. Let's compile it and see how this screen is looking like in actual program or actual application. So, and after compiling display file, make sure that you are compiling program as well. So I'm calling it, putting my user ID and password here. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about this delete. So let's say if I want to delete this user, so what I will do, I will take option 4, which is for delete, and then hit enter. Then this screen will come like this. This is the header, and you can see this is normal text, and we are also populating the ID. So whatever the user ID is selected, it will populate like this in output mode. Then we are asking user confirmation y and small y is for yes, and small n is for no. So whatever the input he wants to enter here, he will put like this. If I put let's say wrong and hit enter, so it will show invalid option. This is coming as a message, means we just created one output field over there with some name and we populate the message. Logic part we will discuss, like once all screen designing is complete, then we will discuss logic. And if you use a select option Y, it will delete that record. Okay, so it is quite simple. So we just go through the screen designing part for delete confirmation record, or you can say the delete confirmation screen. All right, now we will discuss another screen for our application. So I am taking option 17 on my display file, and here you can see there is another record, or you can say screen, named as forgot pwd. So let's see what we have designed here. So simply you can add it by taking option 1 here and just give the name, and let me show you it. Like if you want to take option 1, then write test, and then here you can select the record. Okay, right now I'm not saving it because we are not going to use this one, because we have already created, which is this forgot pwd. So let's see what we have designed here. So I'm taking option 12 here. Let me remove this. Yeah, so it will look like this. Same thing, header is same, just the only difference is we have changed the title of the screen, which is forgot password screen now. And these three value, we know that it is coming from start date, start time, and star user. This is the field that we will populate while writing the code. And now we will see this portion. So here you can see that firstly we are just designing this like we are keeping hyphens, multiple hyphens inside the code, so it will look like a line. Okay, and so same thing we are done at the end of the block. Now this is the normal text. So how we define it? You just write code. Let's say I'm writing for test, and then these are the dots, so that it will align properly. And at the end I am using colon and then close it. To change the color, we can either go with the option asterisk and then select the colors, and then take option 1 on whatever the color we want to do, we want to select. Now what we will do, we will place shortcut trick is just place your cursor at the this position, then write C and whatever the color you want to change. Let's say white, so I will write W only and hit enter, so it will change the color. Okay, so likewise I have declared these four fields, text and verbiages. Now we will see what all input field we have defined here. So first input field is which is in both mode. Why? Because we want to show, like we want to keep that value. Like there are other ways also, but I would prefer to go with the both mode field, so that whenever I want to uh, populate something there on my screen, then I can easily change my logic, right? So but right now we are using both mode field. So how to add both mode? You can write plus B, and inside that you can pass your size, so it will come like this. But you can see that this is not highlighted, but this field is highlighted. That we will see why it is highlighted. Okay, same manner we have assigned some name to these fields, like here you can see S1 username, and this is for security question, so it is S1 SEC key. This is for new password, S1 new pwd. S1 is a prefix, so that we will understand, okay, that this field is coming from the display file, and this is for S1 cnf pwd. Now let's see why it is highlighted, because we have set some attributes on it. So how to set those attributes? I am taking asterisk, then hitting enter, go for display attributes, hit enter, and then you can see we are using reverse image as well as PC. PC is for position cursor, RI is for reverse image. We have set few indicators here like 86, so whenever we will turn on, whenever we turn the 86 indicator on, it will highlight that field, as well as it will take the cursor to that particular field. So this thing we are going to use with validations. So whenever there is any error with the field, it will indicate that this highlighted field contains some error, and it is the position cursor will also go to that particular field. So in same manner we have assigned these attributes to other field as well. So here we are taking the another indicator which is 87. If we keep the same indicator, then all field get turned on at the same time. But we want one by one, so we kept everything separate with separate indicators. Okay. Likewise, you can see the third one, display attribute. Here we are using 88. Next one is RI means here we are using 89. Okay, so this is how we are setting those attribute. Now this is just a normal text inside the code, and we just change the color to blue. This is normal line with hyphens, and this is the output field that we are going to use for populating the error message. So you can see we have set the message as S1 message field name. And how to define output field, just write O, whatever the size you want to hit, and just change the color by shortcut trick C and R. So it is changed. In this manner you can design this screen. Now let's see what all indicator we have set here. So I am taking option 8 over there, going for add indicator keywords. So we kept only one indicator, which is CF12. Okay, this is for only for the cancel purpose. So let's compile this and see how actually it is looking like in our application. Compiling my program again, because we just compiled the display file. Now I am inserting my username and password. Let me insert it again. Yeah, now we are logged in. So just we discuss about the screen which is for forgot password. So for that I'm taking F12. Sorry, we just take option here only. F6 is for forgot password. So I'm pressing F6. So this is how our screen look like. This is the header portion, this is normal text, and these are the fields where we are supposed to pass some input. Now we will see how the reverse image and position cursor is working. So when I take my cursor here in this new password field and hit enter on blank, so you can see my cursor directly went to this field, which is username. Also it is highlighted with some error message that invalid username. So let's say if I put correct username over there. So this is my correct username. This thing we are validating by taking the record from the file. Okay. So once this validation is done, we again turn off that indicator. So now position cursor is indicating towards second field, because this is invalid, and also highlighting it and also giving the message. So this is how use these indicator reverse image and position cursor works. Okay, and what all validation we are doing, how we are doing, that thing we will cover when we discuss on the logic part. I'm taking option 12 here, so it will came out of the screen. Okay. All right. So far we have discussed all the screen that we are going to utilize in our application. Now we will discuss about the subfile designing. So I'm taking option 17 on my display file, and now we will discuss on subfile portion. So these three records are related to subfile: DSP-SFL, DSP-CTL, and footer. Okay, these three things we will use for subfile. So let me tell you how we will create the subfile. So for designing and for creating a subfile, you can do one thing: just write one, then give your subfile name, let's say SFL1, then hit enter, and here from this option you can select SFL, because we are going to create subfile SFL. So this time type should be SFL only, then hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will ask you for the subfile control record. So control record would be like SFL CTL, or we can make it as like CTL1 for better understanding. So this is my subfile and this is my control record format for my subfile, and then just simply hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will take you to this screen where you can set few options. These options I will show you in the existing subfile, like what all options we are setting. But this is the way to create the subfile, and you can see the two records is added. One is SFL and another one is SFL CTL. Okay. So once these things are added, now what we need to do, let me show you by, I'm deleting this because we are not going to use this one. We will use the existing one. So you can consider subfile in two part, header, mainly in three part, header, and then buffer, and then footer. So let me show you on screen. I'm taking option 12 on, firstly we will discuss on control part. So I'm taking 12. So you can see that this entire portion from this, from the one which I have selected just now, this is considered as header or control portion. You can see it as a control or a header portion. Now these thing which contains fields are of type, these are the buffer portion, and at the bottom we will consider as a footer. Okay, so let's see. Now if you want to define header portion, then you have to take option 12 on your control part, which is this DSPCTL. So I'm taking option 12, and here you can design everything which you want to keep in header. Make sure that whenever you are designing your header portion, you can take any number, like you can take any number of lines for designing, but once your header portion is completed, then we will only keep the buffer portion. So let's see what all things we have designed here. This is the normal header that we usually go for a screen, and we design it for a screen. These are the values that are populated using the function start date and start time user. This is the output field, and this is the normal text. Similarly, these are the also a text. So these texts I have added in this way, like this I write type something. Okay, so and then quote, and change the color by taking asterisk. From colors I take one on blue, so it will look like this. Okay, so in same manner I keep these two text, in first line this one, and in second line this one. Now to show the header means you can say column name. So column name I have designed this way: opt, id, student name, email. So these are the column headings. Here the data will come, and these are the heading. Fine. So this is the control portion. Once your control portion designing is done, now you can take option 12 on SFL part. Here in SFL file part, we will keep only the buffer thing. But before that, I will show you some thing that we need to add here, so that we can set indicators and everything. So what you need to do is just take option 8 on control portion, then go for general keyword, hit enter. Here we need to pass these some required indicators. First one is SFL DSP, SFL DSP CTL, SFL clear, and SFL end. So usually I go in this sequence: 90, 91, 92, and 93. So you can select as per your requirement. Also, if you want to show this more and more and in your at the bottom of your subfile, then you can select it. But for now we are making it as simple. So I just keep 90, 91, 92, and 93 for SFL clear, SFL end, and SFL DSP and SFL DSP CTL. Why we are defining these indicators? Because these indicators we will use for clearing the subfile, for loading the data to subfile, and for displaying the subfile. Okay. Once these indicators are set, now you have to take the second Y on the subfile display layout. Here we will pass two things. First is the records and subfile. How many record you want to show on your subfile? So maximum we can set is tetra 9. Second thing we need to pass, record per display. How many record you want to show on one page? So here we are setting it as a 10. Fine. Okay. So once these indicators are set, now you can take option 12 on your SFL part, and now whenever you are declaring any field, let's say I want to go not here, let me delete this. Actually there is no enough space, so what I will do, I will just write or I will show you on the test screen so that it will not change the positions here. So let me show you separate. So I'm taking option 1 for adding my test file again, test sfl, hit enter. Then we will select sfl here as a type, test sfl ctl, hit enter. Then you can directly take option YY here. Now we will set all the required thing, just hit enter. So basically we keep like these are the indicators that we need to set. Just a second. Option 1, test sfl, enter, sfl, then test sfl ctl, ctl is for control, then hit enter. So once your record or the members are added, now you can take option for setting the parameters or indicators. I'm taking option 8, then subfile keyword and subfile layout. So here you can assign some indicator, let's say 90, 91, 92 and 93. Okay, and make sure that you set DSP CTL as Y, then hit enter. Now here we will pass the size. Let's say I select 5, maximum as tetra 9. Okay, and per page I want only 5 records, so just hit enter and hit enter. Now what I will do, I will directly like we discuss about the control portion, now we will see the buffer portion. So if I take 12 and wherever I want to insert input field, like how we have said that on every page we will show only 5 records. So what I will do, I will create one input field. So how many length we want, let's say we want 10, hit enter. So you can see it added 5 rows for input field 10. Okay, same manner if you want to add for output, you can do, this is output. Similarly, if you want to go for both, you can define it like this. This is the both field. Okay, so this is how we keep the subfile fields. How to assign name, just put your question mark here, you can put name, let's say field 1. Okay, so whenever I want to refer this subfile field, I will refer it by field name, field 1 name. Okay, so now I'm deleting this. So here you can see in actual subfile, this is the input field. We kept the per page record as 10, so it is showing 10 records. This is for numeric, this is for input, this is for output, and other two is also for output, because we are only going to take the input for the option, rest will be the display mode. Okay, so this is how we will design a subfile. So how many parts are there? Header, buffer and footer. Header we just discussed, this thing we will design in control part. Buffer will be defined in the buffer part. Let me show you outside. Yeah, so control is for header, DSP SFL means SFL is for buffer portion. Now the third one is footer. So for footer, like you can see that in buffer we have started it from here. So from here to the end of the screen, it will be considered as only the buffer portion. So what we will do, we will add footer separately. So just go and take option 1, add with normal record, and inside that you can take option 12 and you can keep your footer information. So we have set F3 as exit, F5 as refresh, and 6 as add. Okay, and also take option 8 there, go for general keywords, not general, go for overlay and set as Y. Why? Because on subfile we are going to overlay our footer screen, that's why I'm setting it as a Y. Okay, and other thing you can see, like if I take option 8, let's check what all indicators we have set on the control portion. So any other information we are missing? No, we kept everything in indicator, you can see we are using CF03 for exit, CF06 for add, CF05 for refresh. So this is how we will design the subfile. So what are the steps? Firstly, you will add the SFL as well as SFL control. Then in SFL control, you will design the header portion. In SFL actual SFL, you will design the buffer portion, and in then you will add one footer, and in that footer you will design all footer related information. Okay, and if we talk about the indicators and all, then we have to select these options: SFL DSP, SFL DSP CTL, and SFL clear, SFL end with some indicators. And here you can set the SFL size and per page record. Then you are good to compile your program. So just simply compile it. Once it is compiled, you can also compile your program. It is mandatory. So let's compile your program. Now I will show you how actually it is looking like in application. So calling it, passing my user ID and password here. So this is how our subfile is looking. This is the header portion, or you can say control portion, from here to here. Okay, not here, till here. Yeah, this is the buffer portion. This is the footer that is overlaying on our subfile screen. Okay, so now how we are populating this data, this thing we will cover in logic, how we will take the input and further operation, what are the process for performing the further operation, that we will take in the upcoming portion. Okay, so far we have discussed every screen that we are going to utilize for our application. So I'm taking option 17 here. So these are the all screen that we have discussed, and screen designing is now completed. Now we will focus on the program. So I will explain you the program from like from top to bottom. Whatever the things we have written over there, we will discuss on it. Okay, but before that I will show you the process how to create the program, because few people are new to this series. So for that reason I'm explaining it again. So for creating the rpgle program, you can press F6, and then you can give your program name. Like right now I'm writing it as test pgm, and its type. So type will be rpgle, and if you want to keep some description here, then you can keep it here. This is optional, but I would recommend you to keep every time a description, so that it will be easy for you to recall the program. And then just simply hit enter. So once you hit enter, it will open you this file where you can write your code, source code. Okay, and once your code is ready, you can directly write file for save and exit, and there is your program, test pgm, whose type is rpgle, and this is the description part. Okay, so now I'm deleting it because we are not going to use this one. We have already created one program, so let's go through it. So this is the program which is written in the fully free format only, and you can see that it is approximately 526 lines of code, but we will discuss it step by step. So what we are doing here, firstly these are the commented part. So wherever I'm using this double slash, you can consider this line as a comment. Okay, this is just for the introduction, means the description of what we are doing on the below line. So here on line number 11, you can see that we are using two control option, which is no debug IO and SRC STMT. So when we use no debug IO, suppose there is any scenario where you are going to debug your program and you don't want to move from for each and every input and output from the file. So in that case, what you will do, you will use star no debug IO. It means during the debug operation, it will not take you to the again and again, it will not show the input and output operation on the file. Second, we are passing as star src stmt, which means source statement. So here whatever the whenever we are compiling the program, it will provide you the exact line, you can say, when we are looking into the spool file, which is indicating the actual line where the issue occur, or So basically it is giving the source statement with a proper lining. Now below to that, what we are doing, we are declaring few physical files. So first physical file is login.pf. Login.pf, to define the file, what you can do, you can write dclf, then your physical file name, disk is a keyword, users, here I'm passing it as with two uses, input and update, because I want to fetch the data from it and also I want to update the data in it. And as it is a keyed file, so I'm keeping this keyword as keyed. Second we are using here is dclf stupf, disk, users, input, update, delete and output, because we are performing all these operations on this file and it is keyed, so we are keeping it as keyed. So let me show you the structure of this physical file, because we haven't discussed stupf. We have discussed the login pf but not the stupf. So you can see there are student id, student name, student gender, email, mobile number, stream, pin code, city, country, where key is the student ID. So this PF we will use for storing the records related to the student. Let's go back to the program. So we just discussed the physical file declaration. Now I will show you the display file. So display file we are using is stumngsysd. So I'm declaring it. To declare the display file, you can write dclf, your display file name, workstn is a keyword. For physical file we use disk, and for display file we use workstn. As we have already declared a subfile there, so for to use that subfile, what we will do, we will write this keyword s file, and inside that we will pass the subfile record format name, which is dspsfl, with one rrn. What is rrn? So whenever you want to like identify any particular row from that particular subfile, in that case we will use rrn. So rrn will is a relative record number. Okay. Below to that, we have declared few variables that we are going to utilize. Most of them are related to flag only. So you can see valid user, character1, initialize with n. So why we are using this variable? Let's say if I want to check for the validation, and once my record is validated, then I will make it as a valid user. And if it is not valid, then by default it will be n. Second is also a kind of flag variable, which is record exists. So same thing here also. Then we have declared rrn. So make sure you are assigning the same attribute as well as the length for this variable, which is rrn. Name you can keep anything, but most of the time people go with rrn only. That's why I keep it here. So zone 4 initialize. Next variable is auto id, which we will use for incrementing the IDs by 1. Now valid data is also a kind of flag variable, which will help us to check whether the data is valid or not. Now from line number 33, we are going to start with the main logic. So what we are doing here, we are running one loop till the IN03 is off. And inside that, what we are doing, we are just populating the program name. So program name is stumngsys. Why? Because this program name will be shown over the header program name. So we saw that, right? Let me open the another session and show you the display file. So I opened it and now I will show you the display file by taking option 17. So this is the field program name, right? So this field, you remember that we have assigned some name to it, which is asprog name. So we are assigning name to it. So inside program we are populating the data. So it will populate it by the program name. Then we are resetting few indicators, which is IN12, valid user. Why? Because for the very first time these should be on the default value, not the changed value. So we are clearing it. And then we are doing the exfmt on the login page. It means this page will be appear to user till the IN03 is off. Once it is on, it will came out of this. Now second thing, what we are checking here, we are checking for forgot password. So we have given this option F6 for forgot password. So if user has pressed F6, it means F6 is now on. In that case, what we will do, we will firstly we will reset the indicator. So let's see what all things we are resetting over there. So you can see we are using it many lines. Yeah. So routine to clear indicators. So whatever the indicators we have set for forgot screen, we are resetting it. Let me show you that. Forgot screen, taking 12. So these all indicators. So you can see we have set some indicator for reverse image, for position cursor. So these indicator we are making clear. 86. Okay. So you can see from 70 to 89. Basically what we are doing here, all the indicators that is related to the reverse image or position cursor, we keep in the same routine, and we are just resetting it, all those indicators. Okay, so let's go back to the logic. So this routine is mainly for clearing and for resetting the indicator. Once indicator is reset, now what we will do, we will uh, execute the we will reset the forgot password, forgot pwd, which is a screen. Okay, so it will clear that screen. Now s1 program name, again we are initializing the program name here. So it will initialize the program name. Then we are checking, we are running another loop till the in012 is off, and inside that we are resetting the record exist, which is a flag, and then we are displaying the forgot password screen. So this time this screen will came. Okay, if user has pressed F6, then we are just displaying this screen, and then we are running one routine which is validate pwd. So let's see what we are doing over there. So this routine is for validate reset password. So what we are doing here, we are doing the chain on s1 username. So whatever the username user has passed on the screen, on this screen, we will do the chain on the basis of that. If record found, then we will set the flag as record for exist y. Okay, only in that case. After that we are checking by using the select when condition. When record exists, no, it means record is not in the file. In that case we are again resetting the indicator, turning on the 86 indicator. It means there is some error on the 86, and 86 is assigned to this username. So we are just turning on this indicator and giving the error message as invalid username. So this field we are populating with invalid username. Now another thing we are checking, this is the one condition when record not found. Second condition is S1 security key should be KE1. We are hard coding this value, so it should be only this. If it is not this, in that case we will reset the indicator, turn on the reverse image, second reverse image, and then giving the message invalid security key. Third thing we are checking for password. If it is 0, in that case we will reset all the indicators, turn on the 88 indicator, which is reverse image, and giving the message highlighted field cannot be blank. Similarly, we will check for confirm password. If it is 0, we will reset the indicator, and then we are turning on the 89 indicator, which is reverse image, and giving the message as highlighted field cannot be blank. Same thing goes with a new password, but here we are checking two things, like it should not be if s1 new password and s1 confirm password is not same, in that case we are clearing the subroutine, and then we are clearing the new password field as well as the confirm password field, because if it is not equal, then we clear both the things, and then we are giving the message password not matched, because both fields are not equal, and confirm password and new password should be same. Otherwise, when these all conditions are not true, in that case we are giving the validate as y, because all the validation is true. Now we will make it as y, and then we are just doing the AND SR. So this is all about the validate password. So validate password, we have discussed till this validate password. Now we will check for the condition, how this routine will give whether the data is valid or not. After that we will decide the other things. Okay, so once this validate pwd routine completed, then we will have the value whether the data is valid or not. So if valid data is y, means the data is valid. In that case, what we will do, we will simply update the record. How? We will execute this routine, which is update new pwd, which means we are updating the new password. So let me show you the routine. So what exactly we are doing here, we are just doing a chain on login pf, and then we are updating the password with the confirm password. So whatever the confirm password you have, it will be populated to password field, and then we are just uh, updating the file. Make sure that you are passing the record format name, not the file name, with update command. Okay, so this is quite simple routine, and then we are just again resetting the indicators. Also we are resetting the forgot password screen and reinitializing the program name, and at the end we are just reset the valid data, so that next time when we are checking for the same, it should come with the default value. So this is quite simple, like when the data is valid, we are just updating the record. Now after the end do, what we are doing, we are making valid user as f. Why? Because I don't want to validate the things if we are coming from the forgot password screen. Okay, so that's why I just keep this as f. So later we will check this. Let me show you. Now we are clearing the error message, and here on the now we are on the initial screen, like we just saw this. Let me show you the again login screen. So this is the screen. So we just saw how the forgot password is working. Now when we are on this screen, and if user has taken option F6, then again coming to this screen, then there should not be any kind of error that it is invalid or anything else, because we haven't initialized anything there. So that's why we are just clearing the message. Now we will verify the credential. How? By executing the routine. You can observe that all the routines I have declared is prefixed with dollar, so that it is easy to indicate that we are using in this routine. So let's see what we are doing in verify credential routine. So this is the routine for validation. Here we are doing the chain on s1 username on login pf. Then if record found and s1 username equals to username, the one which is shared by the user on the input screen, and s1 password is equal to the password which is uh, in the file, then this user is valid. So what exactly we are doing, whenever user putting information here, username and password, then we are just checking it with file fields, and if it is equal, it means the user is valid. Otherwise uh, it is not valid. So here we are also checking one more condition, else if not found. If record is not found and valid user is not f, only in that case we are setting as no. Okay, so that is the reason I keep this f, because I don't want to show any message if user just came back from the previous screen. There are other ways also to handle this thing, but I found this one as the simplest one, so I keep this flag, and then I'm setting valid user as n. So let's go back there. Now if valid user is y, from that routine, if record found and if user is valid, then we are starting with the subfile. So what we are doing here, we are firstly clearing the subfile. How to clear subfile? Subfile means the multiple records screen. Now I will show you how we are clearing the subfile. So for clearing the subfile, we have created another separate routine where we are setting the RRN equals to 0. Then we are turning on the 91 indicator. What is the 91 indicator? It is for SFL clear. So I hope you remember the indicators that we have set during the subfile designing. I will show you it again. So this is the control portion. So these are the indicator 90, 91, 92, 93. Right now we are turning on the 91 indicator. So what it will do, it will clear the subfile. Okay, so once the subfile is cleared, before that we are setting the rn equals to 0, because for the first time we want to go with 0. Then we are turning on the indicator, which it will clear the subfile. Then we are writing this control part. It means the control portion will be right, and then we are turning on the indicator turning off 91 indicator, because once control is written, then we don't want to clear the subfile again, and we are just turning it off. So this is all about clear subfile. Now subfile is cleared. Now what we will do, we will load the subfile. So let's see how we are loading the data to subfile. For loading the data, we are doing the settler on start level, means the initial value of the stupf. Then we are reading it, the first record, and till the not end of file. What we are doing, we are just clearing the s1 opt field and incrementing the rrn by 1. Why? Let me show you. So I'm taking 12 option on buffer portion, not here, on the buffer. So here you can see this is S1 OPT, this is the student ID, I guess, S1 ID, yeah. Okay, so now we are loading data to these fields. So we are just clearing RNN equals to Y. It means first time if we are loading data on this record, then next time it should be +1, then +1, then +1. So just in a loop we are incrementing the values, and then we are assigning the values from file field to screen field. That's why we have prefixed it with S1, so that it will be easy to indicate which one is a screen field. So these are screen fields and these are file fields. So we have assigned. Then we are checking if RRN is greater than tetra 9. It means number of record is more than tetra 9. In that case, we are just leaving it. We don't want to load any further data, otherwise it will give error. And then we are writing the DSP SFL, which is the buffer, and again reading the next record. So again it will go in the loop and increment the value and then check for the next value. Okay, in between, if end of file occurs, then we are turning on the 90 indicator. So what is 90 indicator? Let's see. 90 indicator is for SFL end. Okay, so it means now the record is ended because end of file occurs. Then we are turning on 90 indicator, otherwise we will make it off. So this is how load routine works. Simply we are just setting the RRN, incrementing the value, fetching the data. If it is more than tetra 9, we are leaving it. Otherwise, we are reading it and writing the DSP SFL. So this is all about load subfile. So let's move to the next routine. Now clear subfile is done, load subfile is done. Now we will display the subfile. So for display the subfile, I'm calling this. Yeah, so here you can see we are turning on two indicators, 92 and 93, which is related to DSP SFL and DSP CTL. Then we are just checking one thing. If RRN is 0, it means there is no record. In that case, we are just turning off the indicator, which is, let me show you, 92. So 92 is for SFL DSP. So if there is no record to display, then we will just turn off the display. Otherwise it will give the session or device error. Okay, and after that we are doing running the loop, do while loop, till the IN03 is off, and we are setting the resetting the indicator 06, 05. Resetting is something that you will understand only when you try to run your program. Then you will see that some indicator are causing issues. Then during debug you will find where you need to reset the indicators. Okay, then we are assigning the name to the program and writing the footer. So here the footer will get written. Then we are displaying the DSP CTL, which is the control portion. So once the control portion is displayed, then we will be able to see the actual subfile. So subfile is there. Now if user has pressed F5 for refresh, so let me show you. So we have given few options here: F5 for refresh, F6 for add, and F3 for cancel on footer. So if user has taken F5, it means he wants to clear the he wants to refresh the subfile. So in that case, what we are doing, we are just doing read C and on DSP SFL, then reset the S1 OPT field and update the DSP subfile. Okay, this is for logic for F5 for option for subfile. Okay, now if user has taken F6, if user has pressed F6, which means indicator F6 is on, in that case we are just resetting the indicator, generating the auto ID. Why? Because F6 is for add record. So for adding the record, we should increment the we should create the auto ID by incrementing it once. So let me show you the routine. So this is the routine where we are doing the chain with the high value, and then means the maximum value, and then we are incrementing it by 1 and then assigning it to the R1 STUID, which is the screen field. So once this is generated, now what we will do, yeah, so once auto ID is generated, then we are resetting the error message, assigning the program name, and then we are running one loop till the IN03 is off, resetting the indicators, and then we are doing showing the add data screen. So this time add data screen will be displayed to the user. Once add data is displayed, then we will check if user has pressed F12 for exit. Let me show you the add data screen. Screen designing we have already covered, so I will show you just the screen what we have there. So this is the add data screen. Okay, so this screen will be populated. If user has pressed F12, then we will simply leave it, otherwise we will go further. Another thing we will check here is F5. If user has pressed F5, it means he wants to refresh this screen. In that case, what we will do, we will reset the screen fields. So let me show you the routine. So we are just resetting all the fields here, then resetting the indicators. So whatever the indicators we have, it will reset it. So these are most useful routine, you can say, because every time we are doing something, we are resetting the things. Okay. Yeah. So let me show you that. So we just check for the F5, and then so here if F5, then we have just reset the fields. Now also we have set the indicators, clearing the S1 message, and then we are checking for the IN0. If it is off, it means user is not selected the refresh. Then in that case, we are just adding the data. So add data is also quite simple routine where we are just populating the records to from screen to file, because this time we are going to deliver the data from screen to actual database file, and then we are validating the data. This is routine is for validation, valid data. Let me show you that, because without validation we can't insert any data. So here we are validating it. If R1 STU name is blank, then we are executing the reset indicator and turning on the 70 indicator. 70 indicator is for reverse image of this field. Okay, so one by one we will validate all the things for the conditions that it should not be blank, and we are also assigning message that highlighted field cannot be blank. So likewise we are checking for all the conditions. Okay, once everything is fine, then we will set the validity as Y. This is the flag that we have set previously, and also we are clearing resetting the indicators. So if data is Y, then we are just simply writing the PF, and then again generating the auto ID, because next record should be populated with auto ID, auto implemented ID, right? And then we are resetting the fields, resetting the valid data. So this is how a valid data routine will work. So valid data will work, as well as we have inserted the data to screen using add data routine. Let's see what is next. And then then simply we are coming out of the loop, reading the next record, and reading the next record, do while end of file, and here we are checking for option 5. Let's say if user has taken let's go back to the subfile, because now we are discussing on the subfile portion. So suppose if user has taken option 5 here, so what we will do in that case, we will check if S1 OPT is 5, because we just discussed about F6. This is all regarding the F6. from here, write record, right? And now we are discussing on the option field. So if user has selected option 5 and either 05 or 5, in that case we are just loading the data for displaying. So let's see what we are doing in load DSP data. So inside that we are just populating the data by we are doing the chain on STPF, and then whatever the data we have for that particular record, because we have done the read C. So whatever the change record we have, it will it will fetch the data from that file field and populate it on the screen fields, because we are just doing the display. And then till the IN03 is off, we are displaying the record. So we are showing the program name, and also we are doing exfmt on the DSP data, which is the screen. If user has pressed F12, then we are simply leaving it, otherwise it will be displayed to the user. So this is how display option will work. So basically what we are doing here, after the screen is populated, we are doing the read C. So read C, what we'll do, let's say if I change the record on this record, so it will read the record number from this, and then we are doing chain, and then simply we are displaying the record. Similarly, let's see what we are doing for delete. So if user has selected option 4 for delete, then we are resetting the indicator, turning then we are running one loop, do while loop till the IN03 is off, and then we are assigning the ID, because on delete screen, let me show you the screen again. So for delete we are showing this screen. So here you can see we are populating the ID. So for population we are just doing this thing. So whatever the change record ID is, we will show it here on the screen, and then we are displaying this screen, which is delete confirmation screen. And then if user has pressed F12, it means he wants to leave the screen, so we will just simply leave it. If S1 DLT CNF is Y or small y, it means user has selected Y or small y here, then in that case we are running the routine, which is delete data. So let me show you the delete data routine. So we are just doing the simple chain, and if record found, then we are simply delete it. So it is quite simple routine. Now after that, once record is deleted, we will simply leave this screen, confirm screen. If user has selected option N or a small n, then we will simply give the message press F12 for previous screen. So user will be able to go, user will be able to see this message, and he will press F12 to go back. If S1 DLT confirm is blank, in that case we will give the message confirmation field should not be blank. Otherwise, any other option is given, then we will show invalid option, and when we will just simply leave out the loop. Means we are just populating the message, so user will get that this is the invalid data. So this is how invalid will work. Now the next option is option 2. If user has taken option 2 for update, then we will check whether it is 02 or 2, both are correct, resetting the indicators, running the loop, and loading the data. So again we are loading the data with the same routine, which is load DSP data, because in display both things are same. So I just populate the fields again from the file by doing the chain, and then we are checking, let me show you, yeah, then we are populating the program name exfmt the update screen. So this time we will go for update screen. So let me show it again, UPD data. So here you can see we are updating that, we are displaying this screen. So once this screen is displayed, then we will check if user has taken option 12, then simply leave it, otherwise we will go for update record. F12 is for cancel, so we are just checking it. In update record, we are doing update on the file, so just populating the screen related screen fields to file fields. S1, the fields with S1 prefix is a screen field, so we are just updating it to, populating it to file field, and then we are updating the file. Make sure that you are using record format, not the file name here. So once record is updated, then we will simply give the message S1 message as record updated, and then doing the undo, end SL, and again read for the next record. means next changed record. And in the after the undo, we are clearing the subfile and loading the subfile again. Why? Because whatever the operation we are performing in the subfile, it should be updated on the subfile as well. Otherwise, what will happen? Let's say if you have deleted any record, and if you are not updating the subfile, then it will not appear on the screen. It will still be there. So after every operation, there should be a proper subfile cleaning as well as loading. So what we just did that, and then undo and end SR. So just after end SR, we are done with this entire routine for display subfile. So here every most of the portion will be come under the display subfile only. And then if second case was like if valid user was n, then we are simply showing the login field, and end if and then undo, and at the end we are just setting the star INLR equals to star on. So this is how our program look like. You can change many things from this program. I'm not saying that this is the perfect version of the code. This is just a basic one, but you can improve it. There are lots of things that we can improve here. And in the upcoming part, like we will go only with the advanced thing also, where we will use only ILE and SQL related things. So this is just for your basic understanding, like how the CRUD application look like, how we can write it in a simplest way. So once you are good on this, then we will move to the further typical thing, you can say typical but the useful things and the modern things. So now I'm saving it. Let me give you the final demo. So let me give you the final demo for this. So I'm calling it. So this is how the application look like. Here user are supposed to pass username and password. If I hit enter, it will give me the message user login failed because I haven't passed anything here. So let's say if I pass my correct user ID and password and hit enter, then it will take me to the main screen. This is the sub file. Here if I want to display the record, I will take option 5 here. So it will show me this screen with all the data. Then I'm doing F12. F12 is for leaving the screen. If I want to delete it, I will take option 4. Here I can pass two options, either Y or N. Y is for confirmation and N is for no. So if I do Y, it will delete the record, and if I take option N, then it will give me my message. Press F12 for the previous screen, and once I press F12, it will take me out. Another option is 2. 2 is for edit. If I take option 2, then it will open this screen with edit fields where I can update everything. So let's say user 74 updated. Okay, and then hit enter. So it is updated. Now if I do F12, it is updated. Next thing, we can add another record. If you want to add new record, so what you can do, you can press F6. Here we were validating everything. So let me pass the thing. Test at gmail.com. This is the random numbers I am putting so that we can validate everything. Let me put test. So once all fields are there, I will hit enter. So record is added and auto incremented ID is now changed to 135. And if suppose there is some random data and you want to clear it, just press F5. If it will clear for you. Okay, so let's see the other thing. So we just see F6 option, and if there is some options you have taken but you want to clear it, you can press F5, so it will clear it for you. So this is how CRUD application look like. And another thing, you can see that we are providing the F6 for forgot password, so I'm taking F6. If I hit enter blank, it will give invalid username. Let me put you the correct username here. So I'm passing it as Shamit, which is not correct because it should be only in capital letters. Now it is correct. Now it will ask for key. If I put wrong key, it will give invalid key. If I put correct key, which we have hard coded in program, then it should accept. It should key 1234. No, it's invalid. Key 123. Let me check this key. We just specified in the program, so we have to check it from there only. Pressing F12. I guess it was key 1 2 3 4. Let me check. Taking option 2 on program, finding for key. Yeah, so it is key 1 2 3 4 5. So that's why we are not able to log in with it. So just key 1 2 3 4 5, hit enter. So now it is validated. Now we have to pass the correct changed password. Let's say if I make it as 1 2 3 and below to that I'm doing the mismatch, then it will give error as well as it will clear both fields because password matched, not matched. Let me change it with 1 2 3 1 2 3, hit enter. So now password is changed. Now I can press F12, and if I here you can see that we are not getting any error message because we checked that with flag F, right, in program. So now if I put correct ID with updated password, then it should work. Yeah, so we are logged in again. So this is how our application work. I hope it is clear to all of you. So basically have designed only a basic application through which we can create the CRUD operations. We can perform CRUD operations. We just saw some basic validation, you can say, screen designing. There are other ways also through which we can prepare the complete application. That step by step we will take this thing in further series. We will create few more application or few more you can say case study that will help us to improve our skills. So I hope this case study was helpful for you, and you can leave your comments whatever you think, so that for the upcoming session we will plan accordingly. So thank you for everyone, thanks for your all time, and I hope it will help you. So yeah, that's all for this session. Thank you for watching TechShare Math.